The news is like a shotgun, bam, 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 all day. As the Democrats try and chip away at Trump, we're going to weigh in on the war in Ukraine because Trump is largely going in there and saying this thing is going to end, and it's going to end by Ukraine pretty much stopping their response to Russia. Adam Schiff, Melonhead Adam Schiff, on the massive freakout over Kash Patel's confirmation. And more. We'll have Rachel Maddow. This is just going to be a potpourri of news. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. Adam Schiff freaking out. Pardoned criminal Adam Schiff.
This is someone we cannot trust. This is someone who lacks the character to do this job, someone who lacks the integrity to do this job. We know that. Our Republican colleagues know that. The only qualification Kash Patel has to be FBI director is that when everyone else in the first Trump administration said, no, I won't do that, that crosses moral, ethical, and legal lines, Kash Patel said, sign me up.
Kash Patel was the first to expose Adam Schiff and the fake Russia, Russia, Russia narrative and the 51 FBI directors. Kash Patel was the only one who opposed them publicly for the lies they told about Hunter Biden's laptop.
In the first Trump administration, as we are seeing in the second, you rise to the level of your sycophancy, and no one is a bigger or more dangerous sycophant than Kash Patel.
You're only saying that because he's Indian. He has brown skin. See, they never play that card when it comes to criticizing their opponents. And then as soon as if you were anyone who criticized anything Barack Obama said, they would go like, we know why you're criticizing him. Well, I know why you're criticizing Kash Patel.
This political hack does not deserve to be in this building. He can't do the job. He won't protect the public. He will misuse the resources of the Bureau. He will weaponize it against the president's political opponents rather than protecting the public safety of the American people.
We already wanted him confirmed, Adam. You're just making us want him even more.
We will vote no. Our Republican colleagues, intimidated by this president and threats of primary challenges.
That's right.
MAGA world, may vote to confirm him. But as my colleagues have said, they will have to live with that vote, be accountable for that vote, and be accountable for all the destruction that Patel does to this premier law enforcement agency.
Boo, he's going to destroy it. You know, he's going, on this case, on this one, Kash Patel, we didn't vote for him. What about all the other Republican appointees that you didn't vote for? Down the line, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., all of them. Pete Hegseth, they all got no's, but he goes, but this time the no, we really mean it on Kash Patel.
Us Democratic members of this Judiciary Committee stand shoulder to shoulder with the professionals in the FBI.
Look at his limp, drooping shoulders. By the way, the professionals in the FBI largely want Kash Patel, prefer him overwhelmingly so they can do their job.
Law enforcement everywhere. And we wish our colleagues would do the same.
Fix your collar. Moving on. Let's get some Rachel Maddow in here. That was too depressing watching Melonhead at the end of his career. Career over. Speaking of career over, how much longer is MSNBC going to be? Look at that face. Look at that. That's the face of happiness. How's 2025 going, Rachel Maddow? Welcome to Project 2025. Trump's agenda is so much better than anything in Project 2025. Let's hear Rachel Maddow. Something tells me it's all going to go back to Russia, Russia, Russia.
Repeatedly and eerily and in a very out of character way, tells the American people he is not allowed to discuss that relationship or his communications with that leader. The political reality of this administration is going to be shaped by whether or not the people who oppose him strongly enough and effectively enough. The political reality of this administration and this presidency will be determined by whether the people who voted for him are horrified enough by what they have wrought that they regret it and are willing to act differently and to speak out about their regret. The reality of this presidency and this administration will be determined in some part by whether or not Republican officials realize that their own survival as politicians depends not on sucking up to Trump, but by helping their constituents survive him.
Survive him. Your survival. Rachel, how's 2025 going? I don't normally recommend therapy.
Strong evidence supporting all of those strikes against Trump so far, frankly. But this is one other thing to watch. If we really are now abandoning the free world and lining up instead with the world's dictatorships, and Trump is unwilling to even explain why.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're lining up with the dictators.
Just watch the American people.
Look at the chipped paint on that sign back there. I don't want to say, and then there's all this cracked paint like America's done. Oh, it's our decomposing.
People are going to have some feelings about that too.
Yeah,
Just watch.
You're going to have to, it would take a miracle for it to be as bad as Biden. I've never seen anything that bad in my life. Now, here's a bunch of Democrats. These are all Democrats in Washington, D.C. protesting. And then a pro-MAGA guy comes and goes, "Make America Great Again." And watch, these are your Democrat friends, who claim Trump is Hitler. Watch this.
Make America great again! 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 Whoa!
Look, it's the peace and love people. It's the hippies. He's just yelling. There's one guy going, "Make America Great Again." I'm afraid for his life around this many Democrats. Look at that guy. He's wearing a bandana there. That's like a full Antifa garb because they want to, hide who they are on camera.
Yo, make America great again!
Holy moly, look at that lady. She works in human resources, first of all. Look at that finger. Mr. Tenepo, please report to human resources. We heard the joke that you made in the break room. People are saying that you like guns too much. Please go to human resources. Then I got to face this woman. Every time I went to human resources, that's the woman right there. Let's back her up. Look at that. Hurrah! Hurrah! I just hope she's not married. Hurrah! You didn't remember our anniversary? I want to go on a cruise. You never bring in enough money. The women next door to us have a better house.
Say, whoa, 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 whoa! Make America great again! Yes, sir. I stand my ground. You guys are pretty. Why? What? Make America great again.
A lot of middle fingers. They're all pagans, foul pagans. That's the nice hippies. The love movement. All you need is love. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, here's more Democrats freaking out. Let's get to this guy here. This is over Kash Patel again, where he says that he's going to be conducting evil. Democrats don't even believe in good and evil because they're a materialist philosophy. This guy's going full on evil. This is like scarlet letter inquisition, moral language. Remember how the Republicans were seen as the moral majority? This is a Democrat claiming moral majority.
Judiciary Committee what crimes it was that he was concerned about that caused him to plead the Fifth. Kash Patel, mark my words, will cause evil in this building behind us. And
evil! Kash Patel, mark his words. Okay, I'm marking them right here. Mark of the beast right across your forehead under your weirdo regime.
Republicans who vote for him will rue that day.
I'm here to rue the day with the Republicans that vote for him. Let's move on. Here's Trump. Here's Trump on 120-year-old people getting Social Security and exposing the fraud.
From 120 years old, people that are 120 years old up to 129, 3,472,000 people. Wow. That can't possibly be because the record is like, I think it's one person, a woman, lived to 127.
I believe that was Nancy Pelosi.
3,472. Okay, but now we're going really in. People from 130 years old to 139-year-old. 3,936,000. Wow. I wonder if people are getting paid with all this. I mean, are these checks? And that's what we're checking right now. People from 140 years old to 149 years old. 3,542,000. 140 years old and beyond. Now we're really going because we're looking to break the record by 25 years.
See, what they're doing is, this is what the theory is. When they have an illegal come into the United States, they have to get them a social security number. So they just take one of these dead people, transfer the number to them. They get checks. They're recycling all these dead people, possibly into illegal aliens. That's what they're investigating. You know, I don't know if that's true or not. I know that that's what they're looking at because somehow there's a bunch of social security numbers being handed out to illegal aliens so they can get their paycheck and not punish their employer for hiring them.
People from 150 years old to 159 years old. 1,345,000. These are in the, by the way, these are in the computer files. This is what they do well.
This is what we're exposing. Next up, here's CNN.
I just wonder for your party, what it means for the U.S. president to not just overlap with some Russian talking points on the war, but straight up repeat them. Repeat the Russian rationale for the invasion, repeat the Russian framing, repeat the Russian description of the elected Ukrainian president.
We're back on Russia, Russia, Russia. The war has to end. Now, the Democrats and a whole lot of Republicans are angry that we're pulling out and abandoning Ukraine. Doesn't mean that Russians are the good guys. Russians are the bad guys. But you can't fight this war. Too many people have been killed. And you're not going to push Russia back in these two territories back to where they were in 2014.
Straight up, repeat them. What does it mean?
Straight up, he's siding with Putin.
Yeah.
The president of the United States is siding with Vladimir Putin. Period. I know privately this is just pissing off Senate Republicans especially.
Oh, Republicans like Lindsey Graham, the pro-war, the warmongers, they want to keep this war going. The fact is, if this war was going to end, this is like a World War I trench warfare now. This is a meat grinder, and it has to end. And I'm sorry, but if Ukraine was going to do something about it and get it done after all the money and treasure that we've given, and frankly, it's Europe's responsibility. It's over on their landmass.
But Jim, Trump's hold on this party is 1,000 times stronger than it was before November.
Yeah.
So
You hear that? That's good news. That's why we're doing this. Trump's hold on this party is 1,000 times stronger than it was in November. Just let that sink in. That's why Mitch McConnell, that Republican Party, is dead and gone. The Rhino Party is dead and gone. It went down with the Democrats.
I think even among Senate Republicans, you're going to hear just a few grumbles.
Yeah, be quiet.
When they should be publicly outraged about this.
Everyone wants to be on the winning side. This is Brian Donalds. Here's the Republican perspective.
What we're trying to do right now is get the necessary conditions to bring this conflict to an end. And I want to be clear on that. Second thing is, I think part of the reason that Vladimir Zelensky was upset is because he didn't have a seat at the table in these initial conversations.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If they had an ability to negotiate an end to the conflict, they would have done that already without our assistance. They haven't been able to do that. So Donald Trump is going to do whatever he thinks is best in order to bring this conflict to a close. This is one of the reasons he was elected to be president of the United States, because we saw what was happening the other way when we were just sending billions and billions of dollars over to Ukraine. There was no end in sight. The American people don't have patience for that. President Trump doesn't have any patience for that. And so the process to ending this conflict is going to be a little bumpy, but the conflict must end.
Someone's going to lose, and Ukraine doesn't have the strength to win. They're not in NATO, so we don't have an obligation to help them. Do you really want to risk World War III over Ukraine? I mean, I feel bad for them. I despise what war does, is grind people up and destroy them. Both Russia and Ukraine have lost, an entire generation of their 20-year-old youth are just wiped out. Time to end it. All done. You guys had your little territorial spat. Ukraine lost 2 pieces of property, and now it's time to just let's end it.
I want us to be the kind of society where my kids can grow up to be virtuous young people, can be good young Christians, of course, because that's what I'm trying to raise them to be. And that's what our public policy is trying to do.
Yeah, let's get a public policy making the kids Christian. I want that to be our public policy. America is, it's Christian in name only right now, but I mean, our identity has always been favorable to Christianity. That is, it is legal to be a Christian here. And that is our strength. You have a country like this where it's illegal to be a Christian or even illegal to be a Jew, and you're in trouble. I'm not defending Judaism. I'm just defending the freedom of that First Amendment right for every person to say, I believe this. I think even most Christians will say that it ought to be illegal to be an atheist. So we defend them. It's the atheistic countries that won't defend being Christian, allowing you to be Christian. So basically, if you want both Christians and atheists to exist in a country, you have to have a Christian country. An atheist country won't allow Christians. Christians have always allowed atheists.
Creating the space where moms and dads can raise their children in their faith to become good young people who believe the things that I do, that is what I'm trying to create, is the space for you, of course, to raise your children as you see fit, but the space for me to raise my kids to be the kind of young people that I think they ought to be.
In my protecting your religion, I'm protecting my own. I'm not saying yours is right. I believe in my own. I don't believe in those that disagree with my own. But I also go, in order to allow a robust practice of my religion, I want to defend the robust practice of all religion. I want to argue it down. I want to use my free speech to denounce it, argue against it, prove it wrong, cause people to repent. But you go to Israel, and you have Jews and you have Muslims allowed to live there and Christians allowed to live there in Israel. You go to any of these Muslim states, you're not allowed to be a Jew in a Muslim state. It tells you a weakness of your position if you don't allow that marketplace of ideas to go back and forth and conduct an argument. I want to protect your ability to have an argument, and you and I can debate in public. That's where I believe, come, let us reason together. The Bible does not say, come, pull out a sword and slay Muslims. Go slay atheists with the sword. Let's get back to J.D. Vance. Sorry for the tangent.
And the other thing that I take from it, Mercedes, is if you look at the long history of the Christian faith, we've been around for about 2,000 years now, give or take a few years.
Well, 5,000 years if you're really going all the way back to the beginning. Christianity started before Jesus came. He was there before the creation of the universe. John 1:1, before there was anything, I was there. There was the Word. The Son of God did not suddenly get invented 2,000 years ago. He pre-existed. The incarnation is what we call it.
And there have been really dark times in the history of the Christian faith. There have been really good times in the history of the Christian faith. And I just try to remind myself that we put our faith in God above, we put our faith in the grace of God, and we try the best to do His will, and we don't worry so much about whether we're going to have earthly rewards. We worry about whether we're doing right by God Almighty above. That's what I try to do, and that's how I try to run my life in public.
Yay, we'll take that. He avoided the J word there. He said we put our faith in God. He almost said he said we put our faith in grace. How about put our faith in Jesus, J.D. Vance? Come on, it's America. Exercise your free speech while you still have it, while it's still here, everybody. What do you guys think of the news cycle? Are the Democrats, will their freak out work? Is there anything they're trying now to criticize Trump wanting to end the Ukraine war? The Democrats are going, we want war. We want war. I'm Doug in exile. Democrats, you're in the desert wandering. Your whole generation must pass before you can enter the promised land.